Hello guys, welcome back to this YouTube channel. I am Grace Onyinyechi Obodo. Thank you so much for coming back. To our new subscribers, you're most welcome to this YouTube channel. And to our returning viewers and subscribers, thank you so much for always coming back to watch another video each week. We're so grateful to have you guys here. If you love our content, please help our channel grow by liking our videos, commenting on them, and most importantly, subscribing to our YouTube channel, as well as smashing the notification bell so you can get notified whenever a new video drops. Thank you so much, guys, for your support. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys a guide on studying in Spain and the important things you need to know before you decide to study in Spain. I'm not going to be talking about Spain in general because I already have a video on the 7 things to consider before relocating to Spain, and you can check it up. What I want to talk about today are the key things you need to know before making that big decision to study in Spain. Now, if this topic is interesting to you, please stay tuned to the end of the video. Let's get to it. Welcome back, guys. Now, before you decide to study in Spain, a very important thing you need to understand is the Spanish university system. Spain currently has 76 universities in total. About 45 of these universities are public universities and they are funded by the state government, and about 31 of them are private universities. Spain also has international universities as well. They also follow a Bologna system, which means that you can study bachelor's degree, master's degree, or PhD in any of the universities in Spain, and they are generally recognized in the whole of the European Union. Now, each academic year in Spain is worth 60 ECTS, and as a result, a bachelor's degree, which is known as the grado, is worth around 240 ECTS in total. A master's degree is worth 60 to 120 ECTS because masters run from 1 to 2 years here in Spain, and then the PhD does not really have a particular ECTS attached to it. Before coming to study in Spain, you need to decide if you want to study in the public universities or the private universities. You would also need to do a lot of research. You need to do a lot of research about the university you would want to study in, the location of the university you would like to study in, the medium of instruction, because some universities, most universities in Spain actually use Spanish as a medium of instruction, whereas very few universities use English as a medium of instruction. So you need to know the language of instruction you'll be studying in, and it's going to really help you. A very important thing to know is the cost of studying in the university. You really need to know the cost of studying in the university you want to come to. The cost of studying in a university in Spain depends on a lot of factors. They include: one, the type of the university. Is it a private or a public university? The second factor that determines the cost of studying in a university is the location of the university. If the university is located in the bigger cities, then for sure those universities are much likely to cost more than the universities that are located in remote areas. Another is the type of degree you're going to be getting. Is it a BSc, a master's, or a PhD? The type of degree also affects or determines the cost of studying in that university. Another thing that influences the cost of studying in a university is the number of credits per program. In most public universities, you pay based on the number of credits you're taking. Finally, the nationality of the person studying in the university also influences the cost of studying in that university. For EU students, the cost of studying in a Spanish university is way cheaper than for non-EU students. And also, for sure, the citizens of the country enjoy much more benefits of studying at a lower cost than those from outside Spain. So generally, the cost of studying in a private university is more expensive than the cost of studying in a public universities. Cost of studying in a private university range from 6,000 euros to 20,000 euros, whereas the cost of studying in a public university range from 1,500 euros to 6,000 euros. Public universities calculate their school fees or tuition fees based on the number of credits you are taking per semester per year. So let's say, for instance, you're a master's student and you have 60 ECTS per year, and the cost of one credit in your school happens to be, say, 40. To get the cost of studying in that university for that year, that's the tuition fee for that year, you multiply the 60 ECTS by 40, and that way you get the tuition fee for that year. So this is a major difference between the private and the public universities. But there are some other differences, like the private universities are much more easier to get into than the public universities. And this is because the public universities have lower or smaller portions assigned or kept for foreign students. And then another difference is that the private universities offer more English taught courses than the public universities. So in the private universities, you're more likely to see more courses taught in 100% English, taught in 80% English than the ones you have in the public universities. The second thing to note before coming to study here in Spain is the application process of your chosen university. Now, the universities here in Spain, they run from September to June. So they usually have three intakes per year. They have the first intake in June, they have the second in September, and the third in December. So these are the different times that they take people. But now you need to check with your school to know exactly when they would be starting their own application, because application deadlines varies from institution to institution. So check with your school to know exactly when they're going to be starting their own application. So for the application process, the first thing you need to do is do your own research. Like, research very well about the school, about the things I mentioned earlier, the location of the university, the courses, the cost of studying in that school. Do lots and lots of research about the school. Know the language, that's the medium of instruction of the school. It is very important. The second thing you need to do is to check the requirements. Know the documents that are required. Most universities here in Spain, they ask you for your certificates, that's your degree certificate. If you're going for a BSc, they ask you for your WAEC, they ask you for your transcripts, they ask for CV, they ask for recommendation letters, they may ask you for a motivational letter as well. All these things, please note that they should be translated to Spanish language if it is not already in Spanish language. Also, another thing to know is you need to know if you're required to take the EBAL test. Some universities here in Spain, especially the public universities, require you to take a test. So you need to know if the university you have chosen already would require you to take a test. And also, some universities will require you to do an interview, especially the private universities. So please check very well to know if your university requires these of you. Also, you need to know if you're required to pay an application fee. Some universities require that you pay an application fee. So please note if the university you have chosen requires that. And also, please note if the university you have chosen requires proficiency tests. Some universities require that, especially the universities that require you to study in Spanish. They want to really know if you're fluent in Spanish language, so you may be required to take a Spanish proficiency test. And then some other universities that are some other programs that are English taught may require that you submit an English test to be sure that you're proficient in the English language. The next thing you need to do is to get your academic documents recognized. Now, this process is called the homologación in Spain. As an international student, you need to know if your academic documents require this validation or if you can turn in your academic documents like that. Now, to do this homologación, you're required to either do it online by submitting your documents online, or you turn in your documents to the Spanish consulate or the Spanish embassy at your country. When you do this, you get a document that certifies that your degree has the necessary qualification for you to get into a Spanish university. So before you choose a school, I strongly advise, and it is advisable, that you send an email to the university stating your situation to them, ask them all the questions you need to ask them, send them a mail. They will definitely respond to you. And you can use the Google Translate. Once you send them this mail, they would get back to you and tell you everything you need to know about their school. Now, the next thing you need to do is to apply to the university. Now, the EU students, they have their own way of application. I'm not here to talk about that. My focus is on the non-EU students. Now, for the non-EU students, you have to apply directly to the university via mail. You send them a mail that contains all the necessary documents they ask you to submit, and that is it. Please note that most Spanish universities require that you submit all your documents in Spanish. So if your documents, as I said earlier, are not already in the Spanish language, do well to translate them into the Spanish language. Now, we have sworn translators who can do that for you. I think I'll put a link on the description where you can get the list of sworn translators that you can send an email to, and they would help you translate your documents. Also, it is very important to note the date of the application. Be very sure to know when the application for your school starts so that you can apply early, because most schools consider early applications for admissions. So if you can apply early, please apply early, because there are limited number of spaces available in these universities. The next thing that follows after you've submitted your application is that you receive a letter of acceptance. When you receive this letter of acceptance, it simply means that you have all the necessary qualifications to study in a Spanish university and that you have been admitted into that university. Then you can go ahead and apply for your visa. Now, we already have a video on Spanish student visa on our YouTube channel. You can do well to check that out if you want to know the process of applying for a Spanish student visa. So this Spanish visa you're going to be applying for would allow you to get into Spain. It will give you access to come into Spain. But as soon as you get into Spain, it is advisable to start the application for your TIA as soon as you get into Spain, because this is going to be your new visa. You have to apply for this TIE in 90 days after getting into Spain. This card usually has your work permits. And with this work permit, you can work for 30 hours per week as a student. This card is renewed every year. So if you're studying a bachelor's degree, you renew this card every year. If you're doing a master's program that is probably 2 years, you renew this card every year. And then if you want to remain in Spain after your studies, you can apply for a job seeking visa or a job seeking permit. With your job seeking permit, you are allowed to stay in Spain and look for a job. As soon as you get a job, you get your job contract, you can now change to a proper job permit, which will now be your new identification here in Spain. Now, for accommodation in Spain, it is usually advisable for students to contact their university. If your university has student hostels, you can make use of that. But if you do not want to live in a student hostel, you do not want to live in campus, then Idealista is a very good site you can check for accommodations. That will be all for now. As you can see, it is very possible to apply for admission on your own. My advice for anyone who plans to study here in Spain is that you do your research very well. Do your research very well so that you wouldn't come into Spain and you'll be wondering how you missed out on some information you would have known about the school you've applied to already. So please do your research very well. And also, I would advise everyone who wants to come to Spain to study, whether you got admission into an English taught program or not, please do well to learn the Spanish language as much as you can. You can start with the basics because learning the Spanish language and being able to communicate with them in Spanish while in Spain will give you an edge here. That's the truth. It will give you an edge here. So do well to just start learning the Spanish language as much as you can. You do not have to be proficient in the Spanish language. No, just start. And one way you can start is by using the Duolingo app. I recommend Duolingo for anybody, for any beginner who wants to start learning the Spanish language. The app is very effective. Yes, it is. You can start from there. And then when you come over to Spain, you can go ahead and take some Spanish classes. And we have different ways of learning Spanish while here in Spain. But before you come to Spain, you can make use of the Duolingo application just for a start. And with that, we have come to the end of this video. Thank you so much everyone for watching till the end of this video. If you love this video, please do well to like, do well to comment on the video with your questions or compliments, as well as subscribe to our YouTube channel if you're yet to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are very glad to have you here on our channel today. Until our next video, please do well to take care of yourself, stay healthy, and do not stop chasing your dreams. Bye.